Welcome to this Saturday Travel and History Tip. We are finishing up our trip into Boston. And I don't know if any of you have noticed, but this is the site of the Boston Tea Party at this bridge. We have gone to the Adams National Park, Frederick Law Olmsted National Historic Site, Longfellow, Lowell, Minuteman, New Bedford, Salem, Saugus Iron, and the Springfield Armory. This is our last stop, the Boston National Historical Park. The Revolution was in the minds and hearts of the people. Discover how one city could be the Cradle of Liberty, site of the first major battle of American Revolution, and home to many who espouse that freedom can be extended to all. Plan your visit to a city with over 3 centuries of revolution. And plan your visit is what you need to do because this is a difficult city to navigate. Boston was founded almost 400 years ago, and Boston's 21st century traffic and 17th century streets are not for the impatient. That is an understatement. Many visitors choose to take a rail into the city, and that is a great option. Boston has more historical significance than any other city. Boston Commons is the oldest public park in the United States. Old North Church is where Paul Revere set off on his midnight ride. Paul Revere's home is the oldest house in Boston. Bostonians often use the term Fennel Hall Marketplace and Quincy Market interchangeably. The John Hancock Building at 200 Clarendon is the tallest building in the Northeast. And I gotta tell you a quick story. We used to have an airplane many years ago. When we sold it, we rented one in Nashua, New Hampshire. You could fly through the big cities and fly below 500 feet. I know you don't believe me, but it's true. It's called Tour the Town, and we have done that in several cities in America, and Boston was one of those cities. We had to fly really low to stay out of Logan Airport's airspace because Logan Airport is just right on the east side of Boston out in the bay. And what was crazy is that when we flew that low, we were flying by the John Hancock Building. We were below the building's top, and I could see people inside the building that night, the janitors cleaning. It was hysterical. If I didn't experience myself, I wouldn't believe it. So if you don't believe me, I believe why you don't believe me, but believe me, it happened. The Boston National Historical Park is best experienced by the 2.5-mile Freedom Trail, a walking trail designated as a National Recreation Trail and National Millennium Trail. In 1951, journalist William Schofield suggested the pedestrian trail to link important landmarks. Its popularity became obvious by 1953. The red brick or otherwise marked trail houses the relics of the revolutionary generation of Bostonians who blazed the path from colonialism to independence. There are 2 visitor centers and 16 official sites: Boston Common, Massachusetts State House, Park Street Church, Granary Burying Ground, King's Chapel and Burying Ground, Benjamin Franklin Statue, Old Corner Bookstore, Old South Meeting House, Old State House, Site of Boston Massacre, Fennel Hall, Paul Revere House, Old North Church, Copp's Hill Burying Ground, and the 2 places that we will be going today is the USS Constitution and Bunker Hill Monument. Don't panic, I'm not doing Saturday travel tips on the others. The Charleston Navy Yard is a unit of the Boston National Historical Park and one of 6 Navy yards established to build U.S. warships. Walk among the historic buildings along the wharves and see the World War II destroyer USS Cassin Young. The highlight is a tour of the frigate USS Constitution, the oldest commissioned warship. Our son, when he was little, had just finished a plastic model of Old Ironsides, as it became known by its crew's heroic and important service in the War of 1812. We surprised him by taking him to see the actual ship at her port of origin at the Navy shipyard. The shipyard was closed after 174 years of service. Visitors must pass through inspection before climbing aboard. Active duty sailors teach about the frigate, taking visitors around the 3 top decks on a free guided tour. And I've got to interject another cute story. It's really quick. As my stepdad was aging and we were talking to him and we were saying one time that we'd gone to Boston and we'd seen the USS Constitution, he says, yeah, I was on the USS Constitution. Now, he was in the Navy and he was starting to get confused, and I thought, okay, you weren't on the USS Constitution. But as I further pressed him, not wanting to get him upset, but find out what on earth he was talking about, as a Boy Scout, he had actually gone onto the USS Constitution, and that's what he meant. So that was just kind of a cute cute family story. Guided tours are given by active duty U.S. Navy sailors. It is free, and here's a painting of action between the USS Constitution and the HMS Gary from August 19th of 1812. Prior to independence, the 13 American colonies enjoyed protection from pirates and foreign navies under the British Royal Navy. However, once the United States gained recognized independence, the young nation had to defend itself. In 1794, Congress authorized the construction of the first 6 warships. These warships became the new United States Navy. Each of the 6 were built at different seaports along the eastern coast. USS Constitution was built at Hart's Shipyard in the north end of Boston. Construction began in 1794, and Constitution launched on October 21, 1797. The ship sailed its first cruise the next year as the quasi-war with France emerged. Today, the USS Constitution occasionally sails through Boston for special anniversaries and commemorations. The USS Constitution and its Navy crew go underway with the assistance of tugboats as they sail down the coast to Castle Island. In the harbor near Castle Island, the Navy crew always fires a cannon salute before they turn around to return to the Charleston Navy Yard. Okay, I'm going to stick another one in here. The battleship Texas is undergoing some needed remodeling and renovation, and they just sent it from its port where it's been at the Texas Monument, and they're sending it over to Galveston to get repaired. It was also flanked by tugboat. It's just a great way to honor these old ships. The USS Constitution is the oldest commissioned ship in the United States Navy. Naval officers and crew still serve aboard her today, and it is a partnership with the national parks. We then walked a few blocks north to climb the steps of Bunker Hill Monument. Most of the actual battle occurred at Breed's Hill on June 17, 1775, and was the first significant engagement of the 8-year American Revolution. The words of Israel Putnam to his men that day were, "Men, you are all marksmen. Don't one of you fire until you see the whites of their eyes." And a lot of times we only hear or remember part of this quote, but there you have it, the full sentence. The defeated colonists retreated to Boston with a passion to succeed. We climbed the inner stairwell of the 221-foot granite obelisk. There are 294 steps, no elevator. Fortunately, it is open, and this is the museum. When the arrows of death flew thick around me, I was preserved while others were suffered to fall a prey to our cruel enemies. Peter Brown to his mother, June 25, 1775. The park provides a lot of tremendous history about the American Revolution. On June 17, 1843, the monument opened in a national event. Daniel Webster spoke again with United States President John Tyler attending. A parade over 2 miles long with many thousands of marchers and 60 military companies moved from downtown Boston to the monument. Over 100,000 people attended the ceremony, creating a scene that beggars belief. A great sea of people covering 2 miles square. And at the top, there are beautiful 360-degree views of Greater Boston. And I saw this building, and I noticed the Widow's Walk on top of it. These are very popular in coastal towns, and I remember growing up and seeing this one at the Julius Rule Home in Galveston, Texas. They are beautiful bits of architecture. It was 14 years after we had first gone to Boston with our son and to show him the USS Constitution, and we went to Rose Wharf to Meritage and had a very nice dinner. On special occasions, we seek out a 5-star restaurant. We actually haven't been able to do that for a couple of years. This was one of the ones that we did, and we went to the Meritage and had a beautiful meal there on the Boston Harbor overlooking all the boats. I hope you've enjoyed this series on Boston and Massachusetts. Next week, we will be going to the gorgeous California missions. You won't want to miss a single one of these beauties. American history. Learn it. Love it. Appreciate it. Don't let them steal our history. Share our American history. And I do want to encourage you to go to my website, danasbooks.net. We have lots of great videos and the new featured recipes, beverages, smoothies, meals, side dishes, desserts, and fun foods. Please check out my website. Hope you watch the Saturday Travel and History Tips. If you appreciate our content, tell others and repost on your social platforms. Thank you.